Well, hello and welcome to the Fab Show. And this is the show where we explore each week our fabulous lives. I'm your host, Joy Willett. And today we're going to be exploring with some amazing guests how to create a stellar 2025. So, are you ready? Let's talk. Well, hello and welcome to my wonderful guests. I'm going to go around and ask you to say your name and where you're beaming in from today. Croix, let's start with you, sir.
Hi, I'm Croix Sather. I am in Connecticut, just outside of New York City.
Wonderful. All right, Monica, how about you?
Hi, I'm Monica, and I'm coming from Durango, Colorado.
Hey, I know that area. Great. Julianne, where are you?
I am Julianne Mercouris, and I am in Southern California, Orange County.
Wonderful. And Christopher John.
I'm Christopher John. I'm in Southern Utah, near Zion National Park.
Beautiful place. Yay. Well, welcome and thank you to my wonderful guests and to our audiences here, whether you're joining in live or on the replay. And we are going to be talking about how to create a stellar 2025. But first, my team here at the Let's Talk Fab Show and our friends and our families, we all want to say we are sending our thoughts, our prayers, and our heartfelt wishes to all of you who are in the midst of this tragedy in the LA area with these fires. And some of us actually live in this area, and we are very sensitive. And I know it's a globally watched situation. So we want to encourage those of you who are either going through this experience yourselves or have family and friends, that there are resources out there that you can go and Google or find out about and get help. Get the help you need, either with resources or even just to talk to people. And so we want to just say our hearts, our prayers, and our wishes are with you all as we begin this show. Thank you. All right. Well, gosh, let's talk about how we are actually going to be creating a fabulous and stellar 2025, everyone here, because we know that things happen, don't they? We're living the midst of that. So I'm going to bring up one of our wonderful guests, and I'm going to play her video first, and then we're going to hear what she has to say.
Hi, I'm Monica Devi Bhakti, and I'm so excited to be joining you from the beautiful high mountains of Colorado, Durango, Colorado. I'm so blessed to live here, and with my partner Steve Wilson, we run the Sacred Mountain Mystery School here in Durango. For over 30 years, I've been helping people find their power, their path, their purpose, and their freedom. And I'm so excited to continue that. When I think about a stellar 2025, what I'm doing is I'm recommitting to that purpose. I'm expanding it. I'm finding a bigger vision for it. And I'm so excited to do that. And I'm really excited to join in this discussion with all of you and the beautiful Joy to see what everyone's doing for their own stellar 2025 and how we can be inspired by each other and bring these beautiful lights that we are together, because it's so time to shine on this planet. We're all so needed. And so I'll share more with you about what I'm doing for stellar 2025, because wow, some really deep and powerful things have been happening over the last few years, and I'm excited to bring those in service to others.
Wow. Well, that just calmed me right down, Monica. Brought me into my heart space, seeing you there in the beautiful scenery. And I'm going to bring you up into, we call it our speaker view here. It takes a little time to move you around. There you are. And welcome, welcome, welcome. And that was so beautiful. My gosh, I just feel like breath of fresh air. You are a breath of fresh air. Tell us a little bit more about what you want to talk about, creating a stellar 2025.
Wow. Well, thank you. Thanks, Joy. And thanks everybody for being here and everybody for showing up, because I think that's part of creating a stellar 2025 is really showing up authentically as who we are, and giving what's ours to give. When I started thinking about a stellar year, what I realized for myself, and sorry, you said it was okay to get a little verklempt. What I realized for myself is that's about being of service. So how can I be of service to the planet? How can I be of service to my community, to each other? And that is what makes me passionate. That's what brings fire and starlight into my world, is to see how I can be of service. And so that's part of my mantra for this year. So a mantra is one of my tools. So is to see, there's a Greek word called the nous. It's the ability to see with the eyes of the heart. So to see with the eyes of the heart and to tend to the garden I can touch. And so to tend to what's mine, to tend to myself, to tend to those that I love, and to send that out throughout the whole grid, right, to everyone. Because we all need that. And we all need everyone in their lights, giving their gifts to create this beautiful, stellar 2025 starlight.
Oh, that is so beautiful, Monica. That is perfect to see with your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you personally do some amazing ways that you serve, that you follow, and following your passion is really important, isn't it? Especially, I think, during these times that are demanding, that are tumultuous, that are at times tragic. Following one's heart. Tell us more about that.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's deeply important. When we are inspired, when we are in our hearts, when we are living from that place, and even, like I said, looking at the world from that place, everything changes. We can see, even right now, all these people coming to each other's aid, all these people joining together to help each other. And that's really what it's all about. So following my heart is to engage in people in transformation and helping them free themselves from whatever is holding them back, from living their light and bringing their gifts to the world. So that's my passion. So I think if we can find what we're passionate about, what fires us up, what excites us, we can bring that into the world, and we can, just doing that, living in that, inspires others. Yeah.
Oh, it sure does. And I know that you have some very specific ways that you and Steve, who was on our show for sound healing in December, which was wonderful to get to know him that way. You have your different ways of serving others. If you'd like to share a few of those ways with us.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. So doing deep emotional work, helping people through trauma, helping them overcome that, helping them find their freedom and their joy again. We run the Sacred Mountain Mystery School, so we're offering classes and workshops to help people get inspired to find their path, to find their purpose. We do ceremonies, we do sound healings. Sound and vibration is so key right now for helping our nervous systems find that calm again, so that we can bring that into the world and into our worlds. And we also get to take people around to sacred sites around the world, which is really exciting. So we're going to the heart chakra of the planet this year, and bringing people together to share their love and their light. And
that's amazing. And when you say the heart chakra of the planet, why don't you say where that is for
for people who may not know that the planet has its chakras as well, right? And so the heart chakra of the planet is in Glastonbury, England, also known as Avalon. So they're beautiful, a number of the Earth's energy lines run through there. So you have the opportunity to feel that and also to put love into the whole grid from that place. So.
Oh my gosh. Wow. We're all going with you, aren't we?
Good.
We're all going. And how fitting with the Knights of the Round Table and the metaphor, the legend, however you want to look at it, we are certainly being called to be knights in shining armor in our own lives, aren't we? And for the planet. Well, thank you, Monica. I'm going to bring you back into the fold here. Thank you. That was beautiful. And let's see, who do I feel like sharing right now with all of you? Just for, let's show this person.
Hello, I'm Christopher John Stubbs, and the way I plan to make 2025 stellar is by spending plenty of time in nature, plenty of alone time, really being committed to my daily habits of meditation and nature and exercise and journaling and gratitudes with strong intentions to get and stay in the heart and to come from the heart, and to be highly adaptable and open to learning and capable of pivoting with the many changes and many things that are taking place in the world, placing an intention on gratitude and surrender and trust and love, as well as committed action, but inspired action from the heart.
Wow, this is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Right. So Christopher John, I'm going to bring you up. There's going to be a little lag here. And here we go. There we go. All right. Well, welcome, sir. We're so grateful that you were able to come on the show today too. And what a fitting message, especially during these times right now that all of us are experiencing whatever jostling it is in our worlds and realities. And so tell us more about this finding. Tell us more about what you're going to be doing. I love your message. It's so important and deep.
Thank you. So I've spent many decades deep diving and traveling the world and doing light work and shadow work and inner child work and all the things. And I've been more wired. I grew up as a farm boy, and so I've been more wired for kind of a gritty warrior, out there conquering the world, saving the world, all these things. And over time, learning there's nothing to conquer and nothing to save, but just contributing and serving, deeply relating with Monica's message and presence and way of being. And so I'm in an interesting phase right now in that, I was in a power couple situation. We were together for 20 years. We're only like 5 months out from separating and going through divorce. So even leading up to this show, I wasn't sure if now was the time for me to be speaking. I'm spending a lot of my time internal, in reflection, in nature, and reintegrating into whatever's next for me. And so I'm in a very humble place. And there's been many times I thought I had all the answers and was on top of the world. And this is a time when I'm doing a lot of reflection and self-assessment and those things. But I'm finding a soft energy, a gentle energy, a slower pace. And so for me, it's a lot about coming back to nature. You know, we're working on gardens and animals and family and just a tight knit small community that's less glamoury, and more just connected with the earth in the purest environment possible, clean waters, less technology, more heart-centered stuff, and just bringing myself back to that still, quiet, present moment as often and as much as possible while I work through additional layers of generational stuff and all kinds of things. Like, it's a deep and profound work, and I'm coming off of back-to-back trips in the midst of that to Egypt and to the community I was born in, and doing all this healing work with my parents who are, you know, nearing their 80s, and we meditate together and just bringing everything full circle at such a rapid pace. I don't even know who I am today. And just show up with what's here right now.
Well, I mean, my goodness, isn't that the ultimate in, I would say, kind of what our whole human journey is, and our whole spiritual journey too, is showing up just as you are. And it sounds like you're in the midst of great change, which, again, this is perfect. Like I said, I always know that everyone who is attracted to being on the show, it's perfect, especially with what's going on in our world right now and in our areas here in this country. And so, I love that. Coming back to a softer place in yourself and grounding with the earth. And so being able to do things like that, Christopher John, tell us more about what your life was before, just even though that's, you know, you're in a new spiral now, you're in a new evolutionary, you've come through your tower moment, right? And I think we go through many tower moments in our lives. Tell us what your life was sort of like that before, and now what you're focusing on, because I know there's a lot of people like yourself, like Monica, like Croix, like Julianne, and myself that are going, what is it that I'm here for? What am I here, and how can I help? So take it away, Christopher John.
Thank you. So for the last 20 years, I've been doing, facilitating retreats, doing online programs, running men's group. I run 2 different men's groups right now, one called the Wolf Pack, that's this brand here.
Oh, cool.
And another one that's Men of Sovereignty. And Men of Sovereignty is a group of 12 men. We don't go larger than that. And that's my close, deep-knit inner circle of men who are committed at the highest level to just be the best we can be in every way. We're always working on habits and introspection and emotional intelligence, and also the gritty stuff. Like, it's not, the flavor of me and my men are very gritty, but also like as strong as and capable as we can be as that intense protector, provider, thriving in the marketplace, all those things, but also as gentle and kind and present and spiritual. And so we're trying our best to evolve into the greatest version of ourselves. Wolfpack is similar, but for men that are maybe earlier on that journey. Haven't been in it for decades. Maybe they've been in it for a few years. So I've loved doing retreats and online programs and coaching and healing and many different modalities and tools and processes and all the things. That's what I've been up to for several decades, is just full-time, all those things. And now I still run the core programs. The third group I run is men and women, and it's really spiritual. It's all about our spiritual practices, that group. So a lot of breath work and meditation and sound healing, all the things. But right now I'm not marketing anything, right? I'm in this season of reorganizing myself I'm still running these groups, but I'm more so drawn to grow that garden, connect with my local community, be of service when it comes forward like this, but I'm not seeking anything. I'm more just settling into that serendipitous flow of what wants to be expressed through me at this time, and how can I be of service?
That's thank you for sharing all of that. And that is really a way and a key way that we can each take those tips and hints and wait, one moment. Write that down, folks who are listening, because there are so many different beautiful ways that we can create our 2025. And it might not look in the old ways anymore. We're creating new pathways, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah. Lots of surrender, lots of accepting what is, lots of meeting the present moment and saying, how can I best serve this moment?
Exactly. I love that. Thank you, Christopher John. I'm going to bring you back into the fold here with all of us. And I'm going to share our next guest. And then we will have a flow of ideas amongst us too. But I'm going to show our next guest video here.
This is what I'm doing in 2025 to make it the best year yet. And if you follow this structure, you'll make it the best year yet for you too. Hi, I'm Croix Sather. I set big, bold, audacious goals, and I'm known for running across America. That's a marathon a day for 100 consecutive days, almost 3,000 miles from California to New York. But what would it be for you? If you could set one goal, what would change your life? Would it be doubling your income? Would it be losing weight? Would it be dating again? What would it be that would change your life? Well, this year I'm setting goals. I'm setting huge goals, and I'm achieving it by first getting clarity. You gotta have clarity on your goal. If you don't have clarity, you don't have a target. Then you have to set big, bold goals. So small goals get small results or no results because they're not exciting. But if you set a big, bold goal, then you'll be more excited. You'll be more attached to it. You'll want to achieve it because it's so exciting. You'll push through the resistance, the challenges, and the setbacks. So you gotta set big, bold, audacious goals. And then you gotta take massive, consistent action. Massive, consistent action means taking action every day, hardcore action every day, and consistent. Consistency is what separates those who achieve little goals from those who achieve big goals. It's the consistency that gets the six-pack. Consistency that makes you a millionaire. Consistency that gives you great relationships. So it's first, you got to get clear on what your goal is. You got to set a big, bold, audacious goal, and you've got to take massive, consistent action.
Well, oh my gosh, I'm all excited, Croix. So here, I'm going to move you over here into the spotlight. And good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. And thank you for showing up.
All right, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so gosh, now I'm all curious. What is your big, bold goal?
This year, it's almost all about focusing on my business. 2024 was probably the worst year of my life, or certainly it's right up there. I had physical or health issues that knocked me down for the count, relationship issues, financial issues. My mom passed away on Christmas morning. Yeah. And so it was just the last year. I'm just so happy it's gone. But the end of the year started to culminate into the right direction. So kind of priming me for 2025. So I'm really excited about that. I have clarity on where I want to go with the business. My business was suffering because I wasn't going in the direction I wanted to. And so I had to make that change, but I struggled to figure out what that change was for a little while. And then personal relationships, and then the health issues really knocked me down for the count. And so it was just, it was a little bit of a time to really reassess where I want to go for the next decade or so. And I use that time, instead of just letting myself be beat up, I use the time to figure out where I wanted to go and push through. And as they say, if you're in hell, keep going. And so that's all I could do most of last year is, I had to just keep going. It was like when I ran across America. There were so many days that were so brutally painful, exhausting, mundane, boring, struggling, everything else. And last year was kind of like that. Is like when you're in that struggle, you have to just keep moving forward. And as Confucius says, it doesn't matter how slow you go as long as you keep moving forward. And so that was what 2024 was about, and 2025 is all about momentum. And I'm hearing this from a lot of people. The 2024 was rough, and they're ready for a new start.
Yes, yes, yes. And so for our audience here, and for even us here on the panel here together with you, tell us a little bit about how you, right now, even with that whole 2024, and it's sounding to me, and clarify for me, that you also have to take time to reassess. Like when you're running across the country, right? You ran across the country, you had to make assessments, like the weather maybe, or physical condition. I mean, how can we translate that, Croix? And because I know that you're going to have some beautiful insights and brilliances here. How can we translate that into each of our lives when we've got that big goal? But what happens? How do we get there?
Most of the time, I've always lived by the mantra of taking the bull by the horns and just going for one hell of a ride. And this works for me most of my life, but it doesn't always work. And sometimes, like last year for me, I really needed to step back and figure out, what's gone well and what's not going well, and how to go forward. And there's also a time for healing for different reasons. And we have to go through those as well. And sometimes it's just better to stop and not do anything and just allow that space. It's the idea of meditation. Meditation isn't so much to silence the mind, although that can be part of it, but it's to increase the gaps of the spaces between your thoughts. Mm-hmm. And so if you're going, you don't have any space between your thoughts. And sometimes you just got to pause and reflect. So I've backed off social media dramatically. I've backed off a lot of things that just weren't healthy for me. So it's all about keeping my health up. And my health causes were all my fault. I just didn't realize I was doing it. And because I'm extreme in everything. So I was donating blood, and like I usually do, but I was only doing it on occasion. But then my daughter turned 16 so she could donate. Then my son turned 16. And so I was like, hey, Dad, I'm going to donate. You're going to go with me. So I started donating every 8 weeks. And as long as the Red Cross was letting me, I was like, I thought it was healthy. I didn't know. And it turns out that I was severely anemic and almost ended up in the hospital. Mm. And it wasn't until I'm walking up a flight of stairs and I'm out of breath that I finally went to the doctor. I'm like, we got to figure out what's going on here. There's something odd. But it was all self-inflicted. Just like the problems in my business and the problems in my personal life, they're all self-inflicted. We're all responsible for our journey. And if we don't pause and try to figure out what those things we're doing, because what's the commonality in all the problems that we have? It's ourselves. Yeah. And so sometimes you just got to pause and figure out, what am I doing? What am I doing right?
Oh, I like that. That's great. Absolutely. I hear a little sound going on there. And so how do you right now, where you are right now, everything behind you, future's not here. How are you? What's your wisdom nuggets for us? How do you pause and assess the road in front?
Hyper focus on the one thing that is going to change your life. And that's what I'm working on now. My health is always my health. So every morning I work out, and that's always a thing. I always eat healthy. So that's all part of it. And family, of course, it's all part of the core. Those are things that don't change, but it's focusing on one goal. And mine this year is focusing on the goal to create a business that I'm doing a lot more of the things I love and doing less or none of the things that I don't like. I'm getting away from the stuff that was dragging me down and moving into all the things that really excite me. So being on Hair Call with you guys, this kind of stuff really excites me. Doing the paperwork sort of stuff, not so much. And so hyper focus on how do I create a business I truly love and I want to do every day. Because I let that slip away from me over the years. Just slowly, it started slipping away. Then I realized I got to change.
I love that. And doing something that you love, speaking of that, right? That you love, right? And keeping that focus. I like that. That's really wonderful for us to all hear, Croix. So I'm going to bring you back into the fold here, as I say. I love saying that right now. And I'm going to bring up our last guest here, last but not least at all. And then after that, we're going to start our flow between us to share our wisdoms together.
Hi, I'm Julianne Mercouris, Chief Strategist Officer and Vice President of Programming at E360 TV. I'm a transformational expert and the host of Own Your Wellness. 2025 is the year I'm not setting goals. I'm breaking barriers. Personally, I'm committed to staying outside of my comfort zone. It's harder than you think, but the rewards, they're incredible. And even more important than the rewards is the sense of fulfillment and joy that comes from knowing I'm growing, evolving, and living fully aligned with my purpose. I've learned that being just a little bit uncomfortable is actually the way to true happiness. It's in those moments of challenge and uncertainty where we not only grow, but also feel fully alive. Growth doesn't happen in the safety of routine. It's in the stretch, in the risks, and in trusting that the discomfort will lead to something greater. For me, this also means staying deeply self-aware and holding myself accountable, being honest about where I am, where I want to go, and making the tough choices to keep moving forward. It's all about leaning into disruption, embracing challenges, and turning them into stepping stones. This isn't just another year. This is the year for transformation, bold moves, and unstoppable growth. Let's make 2025 a year of courage, joy, and extraordinary breakthroughs together.
Wow, Julianne. Okay, I can see how all of you are flowing together. I'm going to move you over here. And wow. All right. Tell us more.
First of all, I just wanted to say thank you for having me here today. And I loved hearing from the other guests as well, because in my mind, I was thinking, yes, that's me. Yes, I get that. Yes, I'm there. So if it's just us and we all are basically going through something similar, imagine how many people watching are also going through something similar. And, the fires in LA, which Joy and I are really close to, it's kind of for me, a physical representation of what my life has been like. And everything is starting fresh and starting over from the ashes. And it doesn't have to be all negative. It is what we make it. And I'm choosing to look at what I really genuinely want versus what I've done because it's made me happy, or it's an easy dopamine hit or something along those lines, where I just keep going along in the same sort of pattern. Because I realized a long time ago that happiness and joy aren't always what we think it is. And so I'm tired of climbing the wrong ladder and realizing when I get to the top that it isn't what I thought. So by stepping out of that comfort zone, that's really where I feel truly alive. And if I want to experience as much of this life as I can, then that means all the feelings, all the time, as much as possible. And that is what really, truly brings me joy. And it doesn't matter what's going on around me. It's how I respond and how I choose to react to what's going on versus whether I deem it good or bad or great or negative.
Wow, absolutely. Absolutely, Julianne. And yeah, it is for everybody right now watching this, all of the audiences, all of us here together. It is how we respond, right? How we respond to whatever is coming into our world, our realm, our perception. So for you personally, how are you disrupting and leaning into that disruption, right? Your sail is in the winds, right? And you're taking off with these winds. How are you doing that? Share a little more.
Absolutely. So I had the privilege of living in Italy many years ago, and this was back in dial-up internet days, and it was really hard because when I moved there, I didn't speak the language yet, and I had to whip out an old-fashioned map and do all the things that you can't take advantage of nowadays, like with a smartphone. It was a lot harder, and every day I was always uncomfortable almost all day long. And when I moved back to New York, I was so unhappy for the longest time. And at first it took me a while to remember why it was that I was so much happier in Italy versus where I was now. And it was because I was slightly uncomfortable. It was because I didn't have my old fallback habits of maybe watching TV instead of actually living my life. So now, if I just remember that I'm here to live it and stop checking out as much as I have, then that's what actually makes me happy versus what I think happiness is. And there's a huge difference between what we've been told it is and what it actually is. And for me, it's that genuine feeling of aliveness versus everything being perfect.
I love that. And I have to do a quick thing here because I'm seeing a lot of purple hearts, Julianne, and everyone. So and that is to acknowledge those who have passed on, especially one person. So we love to share and remember her because she was always on these shows with us, sharing her purple hearts in the comments. So yeah, that aliveness. Yes, you are full of fire. You know that I love that rising out of the ashes like the phoenix. And that's what a lot of folks are having to do now, not just even in these areas with fires, but just in general. And it feels like each of you all here on the show have been going through your own experience of rising up from the ashes. Julianne, I'm going to bring you back into the group here, and I'm going to play a video here that is really, really, really lovely, and then we're going to share our thoughts and feelings.
In the quiet moments, when the sun begins to rise, we find the strength within us. In the stories of our lives, not in gold or glory, but in hearts we've touched with grace, in the love we shared with others, in each kind and gentle face. Your legacy is the love you leave behind, in the hands you've held and the souls you've helped to find. It's the laughter in the children, the wisdom in the old. It's the light you sparked in others, in the stories that are told. Through the trials and the triumphs, in the battles that we fight, it's the courage and the kindness that will always shine so bright. In the lessons that we teach and the dreams that we inspire, in the way we lift each other higher and higher. Your legacy is the love you leave behind, in the hands you've held and the souls you've helped to find. It's the laughter in the children, the wisdom in the old. It's the light you sparked in others, in the stories that are told. In the final song you sung, and the curtains drawing near, it's the moments filled with love that will echo year to year. In the footprints on the path that guide the lost and blind, your legacy will live on in the hearts you've left behind. Your legacy is the love you leave behind, in the hands you've held, in the souls you've helped to find. It's the laughter in the children, the wisdom in the old. It's the light you've sparked in others, in the stories that are told. So let's live with open hearts and give with all our might, for the legacy we leave is a beacon in the night, in the echoes of our actions, in the whispers of the wind. Our legacy of love is where it all begins. Our legacy of love is where it all begins.
Your legacy will live on in the hearts you've left behind.
Yeah, legacy of love, right, everyone? Wow. And when I've watched this beautiful song, and which is produced by one of our wonderful team members, Steampunk Poe, and he's brilliant. And I was thinking today that, it really comes home to our hearts and to my heart, that what is our legacy as we go forward in this 2025? What is our legacy personally, and collectively? What is the legacy? Let's talk about that, because there's a lot of people that don't have that opportunity to even have a legacy anymore, right? Or their legacies that they thought they were going to be creating, whether they've been part of a tragedy like these fires, or the floods in North Carolina, or they're in another country that there's things going on. And suddenly, how do we shift? How do we pivot? And what is really in our heart of hearts to create as a legacy? Who wants to go first?
I will.
Okay, Julianne, I'm going to have you go first. I'm going to bring you up. All right. Here we go.
So thank you, Joy. So I love this question because it's on my Facebook profile, and I sign all of my emails with the same exact thing. And it's that I'm living my legacy by helping others live theirs. And the reason why that speaks to me is because I felt like I wasted a lot of my life just on myself and what I wanted, and was very selfish. And in order to honor those that have passed away before me and didn't get the chance to leave a long legacy, I figured the best way for me to make more of an imprint with the time that I do have left is to help others make theirs. And so that's what 2025 is genuinely all about for me.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to bring you back in here. Who wants to go next? Chris, Croix. Okay, I was feeling somebody like ready. I'm going to move you over here. Thanks, Croix. You're muted, darling. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
I've been looking at this and thinking about this differently lately. I used to think that life was all about legacy, how you can leave a legacy, whether it's your books, it's creating art, or some other thing. And lately I've been thinking about, how after 2 generations, nobody's going to remember you. And I think we tend to take this life a little too seriously. I know that's true in my case. And I've started relaxing a little bit more and trying to enjoy life a little more, and realizing that legacy can be, the books and the art and the work you do and the family you create. It can be those things, but it can also just be being authentic to yourself. Yeah. And figuring out how to enjoy your life instead of having to worry about what everybody else expects from you, whether it's your family, your coworkers, your society in general, whatever. What if we were just a little more authentic, a little more happy, a little bit more self, I don't want to say self-love, but at least self-enjoyment. And what if we just became a little bit better for ourselves? Then I think that would be a great legacy in itself.
I love that. That is, really, and isn't that a legacy to leave to those who are watching you, like your kids or your people that love you? That's how you lived your life. What a great example. Instead of leaving the things physically, right? which are great, The books are great. The deeds are great that we do and accomplish, because those are also for ourselves. But for someone to see, wow, I want to live like Croix did. I want to live, enjoying life and doing the things that make a difference for ourselves too. I love that. I'm going to bring you back in the fold. All right. Who's going next? Christopher John, you ready?
I'll go.
Okay. All right. I'm going to bring you up here. There's this little lag here in our shifting things around. Okay.
I don't know. Mine may just be kind of a repeat and reiteration of what they shared, but we'll see what comes out. But up until now, it was always about, how much good I could do in the world. How many
Christopher John, your sound just okay.
Is it back?
Yeah, it's good. Thank you.
But I love what Croix shared too. So I would love to be remembered for all the people I blessed and served and helped have happier, more fulfilling lives. But also, I love that flavor Croix brought in, is like that I became a happy, peaceful, kind, loving, integrous person, that anyone who met and related with me, that they were blessed in the ways too, like Croix saying that I created something I loved, and that was a model or example for how good one could create a life for themselves, however that looks, in all the different flavors. Part of that's certainly being of service. Part of that's becoming my authentic self and in living that enjoyable life that best fits me. So
that's wonderful, and especially taking into consideration that you also have worked with and continue to with men, and how important is it for the masculine or the men in our world to understand that they also can allow themselves not to just be the protector, the provider, the person out there doing everything, but also that they're taking care of their hearts and their health and their sacred being. I love that.
Yeah,
that makes everyone more fulfilled. Thank you. I'm going to bring you back in. That was beautiful. And now, Miss Monica, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Thanks. Wow, beautiful. One of the things that I'm hearing from everybody, I'm feeling from everybody, is this legacy of authenticity, of just really being who we are and moving from that place and living our lives in that way. And it made me think of there's one of my favorite quotes from Richard Rohr is, what you don't transmute, you will transmit. My follow-up to that is, what you do transmute, you will transmit. Like that, like Croix, what you were saying, just and Christopher, to be that energy of love, to be in the joy that you are, to be feeling what you're feeling, to bring that authenticity into the world. What an incredible legacy, because then we all feel it, and it's like we ring a bell and it gives permission to everybody to do that, right? I really think, as I think you all agree, what we're healing in ourselves, we're healing in the world, and that just goes out to everyone. And what could be a better legacy than that? Yeah.
And you hit it right on the gong, right on the bell. There we go. Absolutely. What we are all healing in ourselves is what is being felt and received and transmitted, isn't it? And this is where we're coming into, in my belief systems, and I have a feeling it aligns with my beautiful guests here, that we are coming into new places in this, on this earth, on this planet, without getting too woo-woo, of frequency, of vibration, of heart space. Everyone feels things. We all have feelings. Yeah. And so whatever we're transmitting inside or taking care of inside is what then we share. I love that. I love that. And so we have a few more minutes. I do want to play one thing here because of, again, these fires that are in this area, in the LA area. Our producer, who has family in the area, created this for us to play right now. Wow. Yeah, we thank all of the first responders, the firefighters, those who are, I mean, just everyone, especially with this current situation here with the fires in Southern California. And we just send prayers and our thoughts and our love to those who are being affected, know people who are being affected, and who are out of homes, missing animals, all the wildlife, everything has been and is being affected. So we want to keep our sensitivities and our love and prayers, and wherever we can see to find the ways to help. I'm a volunteer first responder here in my area too, so we're aware of what's going on and have our bags packed if we need to be of service to the first responders. And I know our show's producer, Tamara Hunter, her husband is a firefighter and has been. And so for all of you out there, we just know that we're all here in our hearts, finding the best, supporting in our hearts wherever we can, the best ways for this to be mitigated and to be taken care of. So prayers go a long way, envisioning goes a long way, and of course boots on the ground are what they are our heroes. We salute you. So anyways,
can I jump in here for a second?
What's that?
Can I jump in for a second?
Absolutely, Croix. Thank you.
One great thing about this difficulty that we're going through is that for a little while there, the police and firefighters and emergency services, they weren't respected very much. Just a few years ago, we went through a really dark area where it was like police were getting bottles thrown at them and things like that. This brings us back together. It's a tragedy. I'm not taking away from that, but this brings us back together. It's a form of healing. As much as a tragedy, it's also a form of healing for us as humanity, as a society, as communities. And that I find is an absolutely beautiful thing. And all the people putting their lives on the line and having to go through all of this. And I was a firefighter and EMT for 6 years. Oh. So we get it from that side too. But it's just, I find so much therapy and healing and experiencing this together. So we got to remember that there are two sides of this as well.
Thank you. That is true. People come together. And like you said, we're seeing it, and I think the world is seeing that people are coming together to support this. Thank you, and thank you for your service too, Croix. Absolutely, and it brings everybody back into, well, what is real? Again, we're talking about 2025 and legacy and what's important. Doesn't it bring us back to that center point of what's really important and get us to really do that laser focus that you were talking about, Croix, and to get into our hearts and stillness, as you were saying, Christopher John, and to throw all caution to the winds, Julianne, right? And for Monica to be able to focus on the transformation and within oneself as well as for others. So we have maybe 50 seconds each right now to go around. No, 50 seconds. What a funny. Where did she pull that number out of her hat? So who would like to go first? Just kind of just wrap up in a sentence or so. Your thoughts for this show. Monica, you go first.
I'm feeling sparked, so I'm going to jump in.
Yeah.
Because it something struck me. I think all the tools everybody's offering, all the things that we're talking about, you know, when I do trauma work with people, it's about building new pathways, right? Creating more resilience. And so it's almost like we're talking about building new energetic pathways in all these different things that people are suggesting, all these tools, all these, and you know, linking everything together. That's quite a legacy as well. But it's like we're doing that for everyone and on the earth. You know, these new ideas, these ideas about how to create something new, how to make something new. We're building these new energetic pathways, and that opens the way for everybody.
It does.
It just sparked in me.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Absolutely. Julianne, I'm going to have you tag off of Monica fast here. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem at all. So thank you again for having me here. And I just want to thank everybody.
Interesting.
I don't know what that is, but it must be all of our powerful energies coming together. That's the only thing I can think of. But what I wanted to say is what we focus on expands. So we can look at all the tragedies, or we can look at the blessings in it. Like Croix said before, the blessing is that we're coming together now. So let's always try and look for those things in order to move forward in a happier, higher energy space.
I love it. Okay, perfect. Christopher John, what say you?
I'll close with let's make the world a place that we're proud to hand off, that we enjoy, that's the most beautiful place it can be for all. And let's do that by beginning here. Come to that heavenly place within, so that as each of us do that, it is just is.
Beautiful. I love that. And Croix.
I'll remind everyone that if there was one thing that 2025 could be about, one thing that would change your life, you know, spend a few minutes and figure out what that is, and then put all of your energy and your focus into doing that one thing that will make your life better. Because if you become better, you're better for everyone else. And it's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's not selfish to go after your goals. It's actually selfless, because the better you are, the more you have to give. You can't give from an empty cup. You can only give from a full cup. So one thing, if you just focus on one thing this year at the end of 2025, what would be an extraordinary year for you? Focus on that one thing to the exclusion of nearly everything else. And I guarantee you it'll be an amazing year.
I love that. That's great. What a great way to end this wonderful show. Thank you to all of my incredible guests. You guys everyone has contributed and shared so many beautiful, heart-inspiring ways, and especially during this time. And Croix, that was particularly poignant, especially with you saying that you were a first responder, and now going, about going for your own dreams and goals. So keep those dreams alive, everyone, no matter what's going on. We send our love and prayers to those in harm's way or being affected, and we will see you next week. So till then, we will be seeing you. I've got some new